This video is designed to be a reminder and give some really good short examples to inspire you, say in the car park when you're getting ready on your coffee break, the night before you go skiing, or even in the off season to remind you in other sports to use your eyes and head to look into the turn well before where you want to go, okay? Now it's obvious, your eyes lead the rest of your body movement. There are a whole lot of muscles linked to eye movements. So you really want to tap into the fact that that response is automatic when you do it. Now, I'm going to lead this video with some great examples from skiers like Ted Ligety and my co-coach Sam Robertson, really sort of showing you how much these people look with really great intention and really far into the turn, not a short distance. And because I know when I work on this, I'm surprised when my focus is like, what am I doing with my head? How much I will stray to not looking far enough, and especially on one side. I have a tendency to look well into my turn to the left and not as well into my turn to the right. And guess what? My turn to the right is the one that I tend to not get the timing of pressure as well. So it's something that you want to work on, be aware of, and use these video examples to really get an idea of how much these guys look and when they look to help lead really well balanced inclination. Like I said in the webinar, if you haven't seen, when you look where you're inclining, it feels more like you're moving forward than falling sideways. And we're much more comfortable falling forwards because every day we walk and run, that's what we're doing. Let's get into the video examples and get you set up to succeed in your skiing. Ted Ligety is our first clip where he's making some great GS turns, and you can really see the head look well inside of the skis as he begins each turn. And notice too on some ones where he has to really carve more across the hill, he looks even further inside his skis. You'll see an example coming up soon. But take away, I guess, the relative looking inside of the ski tips of the head. So how much that is and how that will change the feeling of you moving more forward and inside like this as opposed to just leaning sideways. We're now going to watch Ted Ligety make slalom turns, so much shorter radius, and you'll notice that the amount he's looking across his skis has increased. So there's a greater degree of difference between where his head is looking and where his skis are facing. So the shorter the turn, you're going to need to incline faster and sooner, and so that is going to be facilitated and helped with looking further with your head and eyes into the next turn. This example, where I've just taken my commuter bike, nothing special, not a mountain bike, and I played around with how much I looked into the turn. So the only difference was the amount I turned my head relative to where the bike was pointing. So you can see a much greater degree on this side. And the result is a few things. One, the line of inclination, and before when I used the angle measurement tool, it's really obvious to see how much more inclination angle you can achieve. So we've got 66 versus 56, so somewhere in that range, so almost 10 degrees more. Now on a ski, that would increase the edge angle, but really what that inclination allows you to do is deal with forces that are center-seeking forces in a turn, and it means you can turn tighter than when you're not inclined as much. So that's one advantage you can see here with how much. I also want to point out at this point that even here I am looking inside the turn. Okay, so notice that I'm still looking in, but it's the degree to which and the feeling of almost twisting the head over the shoulder. So you want to actually notice, like feel a turn in the head and a look really like well into the turn, because I'm trying to do a full U-turn here which would be like a steep slalom turn where I'm trying to turn back across the slope. That's how much you're going to need to look to really have an effect. And the more you look, the more you'll get there. Now, the second thing I want you to notice is the athletic stance that I'm maintaining because of looking. So I'm more extended here when my eyes don't really look further in. And the reason is when I look in here and I lean, my body automatically assumes a more athletic position because it's going to be in a much better situation to deal with the balance and place myself where it needs to be. So we come around here and we get a view at this point and really see like we're looking right across where our line of travel is. See here I'm looking inside, but it's not enough relative to where the bike is. So this is what you're after, and it's going to give you a much better stance. See, I maintain an athletic position much better than here. So that's number one. And number two, it feels more like I'm leaning forward to move inside. And then three, all those things generate a bigger amount of inclination, which means I can turn tighter if I need to. Moving on from the bike, here's a great example to show you the difference between really looking into the turn with Sam Robertson, ex-World Championship ski racer and co-coach of Big Picture Skiing, and then a skier here. So you could equate this to the skier is still sort of looking inside of the turn where their skis are going, but a bit like me on my bike back there, I wasn't looking enough to help the inclination. So we look at Sam, and already even back here, you can see as he's exiting the turn, his vision is far more into the turn. He's got a real intention of where to look. Here is almost looking down as well, instead of like forward and into the next turn compared to Sam. And then we come across into this part where we're really trying to create that inclination, and you can see Sam's eyes still focused down here, this person pretty much looking almost in the same direction as their skis. So any inclination move is going to feel more like kind of like a sideways falling. Even though Sam is still falling at this point, he's going to feel like far more balanced and okay with it, okay, as opposed to the other person. And so that's how Sam can generate such high early edge angles and see pressure the ski like now through angulation and really bend that ski and get it across the hill here. So pretty similar radius skis going on here, and you'll see Sam through the inclination move and led with his head is going to start getting the turn and the control and deflection much earlier, and yeah, it's going to feel way cooler too. So rewind back here. This is what you are all really trying to achieve, and it starts even further back here where you do it, and it's relative to the skis. As we watch this pro surfer, you can see how well he utilizes his eyes and head turning to help snap some really fast and hard carved turns. So even as the wave gets quite small, and you can see this would be like on the ski slope, a seriously short radius turn. And you can see, watch here, where he's looking. Okay, way back here when his board is pointing this way, it's almost 180 degrees he's working here, which is what he needs to do in order to bring this back around. And where you look is where you go. So let's watch a little further. See, he comes all the way back to that point he looks. Okay, even on that tiny wave. Further back, as he's got a little bit more speed, even over, his backhand, he's looking here really early. That helps him turn and lean. Again, almost 180 degrees from his board. That helps him pull that turn around. And you see at this point, I mean, he's literally horizontal to his board. And how does that how is that facilitated and helped? Well, a lot of it is through how you use your head. So again, it's in all sports. Something you can practice even when you're not skiing is just getting used to using your head to direct your turns and help your inclination. As we finish up this little series of using the head for inclination and better turning, let's follow Ted Ligety down a beautiful run in Deer Valley, Utah. Now, the thing you can take away here is, as you sit and watch, literally try and imagine you are Ted Ligety, and notice where he starts looking and how he keeps looking inside the turn here to continue inclining and holding a strong edge angle, which allows him to deflect his mass around the gate and across to the next one. So looking, continuing to look in, next one. Looking in, continuing to look in. So fantastic example. Really get a sense of you being Ted Ligety here skiing and, you know, like looking with him. Even trying to spot as you're coming around here, looking right at that blue gate, coming around, looking at that red one. And again, getting a sense of that look being relative to your skis, because you don't want to, in skiing, turn your skis or twist them as you're looking, because that is going to take away the inclination and edge angle you build like right here with Ted. So that's a huge thing. It's looking relative to the direction of your skis. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you get out there, try on a bike, try on your skis, and improve everything through using your head.